I've always thought that Funko Pop comic covers would be a lot cooler if there was actually a real comic in the pop and not just some piece of paper that was kind of stuck to the back of it. So this week, I decided to go out, find a comic book, hunt a pop, and then make my own version of the product. So stick around to see how it turned out. Now, I'm sure you've heard of the Funko comic covers. They're basically just Funko Pops that are shoved into a glass box with a comic cover printed out and stuck to the back of the box. In concept, they're a really cool product, seeing as so many Funko products actually come from comics. But it's always kind of bothered me that it's just a printed out piece of paper and not an actual comic. It's also kind of bothered me that you can't take the pop out of the box. It's literally like screwed in there with some plastic to make sure that it doesn't leave. So I decided that I was going to make my own version of the product. Full disclosure, I had no idea how this is going to turn out, and I will be totally honest in saying that this is probably going to be a work in progress. I mean, I don't have the same resources as Funko to create like a cool box that displays it, and I guess that's the benefit of actually purchasing this product through Funko. But hey, it's still cool to go find my own comic and then get my own pop and make it my own. So I went out, I looked for comic books to find characters on the cover that I thought would be really cool for a display. Then once I did that, I went out on a hunt to find the actual characters. Now, I'll put a little disclaimer here. I in no way claim to be an expert with comic book collecting. So, as I show these clips, if you know anything about comic books, you'll probably notice there's a lot of comics out there that were really cool that I just totally looked over. And if that's the case, I do apologize, but again, I was really just looking for comic books that I thought would look really cool on a shelf. So I went to a comic shop in my area that has just boxes on boxes of old comics ranging from every genre, from horror to fantasy to Marvel to DC to Doctor Who to anything in between. And I picked out 3 comics that I thought I could make really cool displays out of with Funko Pops. Once I found those comics, I went out on a hunt and I found a Funko Pop that, being totally honest, is a GRAIL, and I was not anticipating spending that much money today, but I got excited and I thought I could make something really cool. So let's go to the clips and stick around to see how it turns out. All right, I am walking in to check out these comics. It's raining pretty good right now. I'm really hoping that they have, like, I don't know, just any character I think is cool. X-Men, Wolverine, Venom, Thor, Doctor Strange, anything like that. I don't know. Let's go see what they have, though. All right, here is the comic store. So this place is so cool. Every single one of these boxes is just chock full of comics. It astounds me how much they have. Now, again, I am not a comic expert. Basically, my philosophy when it comes to comics is if it looks cool and it's a character I'm interested in, then I will probably want it. So I don't often know what's a good pickup and what's not, other than obviously they have special editions and they have first editions and things like that. Those are a no-brainer. But I will say here, I probably saw a lot of things that I'm really just not familiar with at all. Nonetheless, I still love looking through comics because there's some amazing artwork. I just feel like there's probably a lot of comics out there that really don't hold a lot of value, yet still have really cool artwork. So, I mean, even if there's not a lot of value, I think there's still some really cool repurposing that can be done, especially in the form of, like, decorations. Like, my desk at work has, I think, like 10 different Marvel comics, just vintage Marvel comics on there. None of them really have value. I think there's one that maybe is worth like $9. The rest of them are below that, and they just look so cool. So there's so much to appreciate here. These X-Men comics, they have so many of them. Someone must have come in and just dropped off a massive load, because most of the Marvel that I saw today in this store was X-Men. Like you can see here, this Wolverine cover is really cool. Again, another X-Men with Wolverine in front. Excalibur, that one was cool. Shatter, I'm not familiar with that comic line, but they had a lot of it, so thought I'd show that off. Again, Wolverine, and there was a Shazam back there. They had a few Shazams. We're getting up here pretty close to this. There was a box that I found that was just totally full of Spider-Man comics, and I'll show that off in just a second here. That was probably the most exciting thing I saw. But just a second ago, you saw that Alpha Flight. I thought that was awesome. If you're not familiar, that's the Canadian Avengers. I also saw the Soviet Super Soldiers. There was a Soviet Super Soldier comic that I saw today, so I thought it was funny that I saw both of them. Yeah, moving on, this Iron Man was awesome. Just him coming through the atmosphere totally on fire. Really cool. I thought about that one because I know there's a lot of Iron Man pops out there you could pick up and probably make a really cool looking piece just for like a shelf, you know. Another X-Men here. So yeah, a lot of really cool Marvel stuff, mostly X-Men. And then of course here's that Thor. This next one was actually kind of a funny one as well. I think it just said we really give it to Weapon X in this issue. It just looked really cool. I actually used to have the Weapon X pop. I don't know why I got rid of it, but I think that'd probably be a funny one to pair with that. Then yeah, you can see this pile of Spider-Man like I was mentioning a second ago. The one I'm taking out of the box right now was actually one I ended up picking up. So I'll show that off in just a second here. But they had so many really cool Web of Spider-Man comics here. There was one with the Hulk right there. You saw Doc Ock a second ago. Black Suit Spider-Man, they had an abundance of those. Which, who doesn't love the Black Suit Spider-Man? This one was actually Spider-Man with Wolverine. Spider-Man being in his black suit. Again, super cool comic cover. You know what, if I had it my way, I probably would have picked up like 10 or 12 comics today. But I tried to keep it a little bit conservative. Here's another one with Doctor Strange, actually. This is another one that really caught my eye. So I had to pull that from the pile there. I'll talk about that more in a second. Yeah, just some other really cool artwork here. There's one with a bunch of Avengers on that. Then this one is actually, I think that was a Super Scroll, which if you watched Secret Invasion, that one's kind of a timely one. That's pretty cool. And then this next box right here. I just have to say I am so happy I caught this on camera because this is easily the biggest moment of my collecting career. It is the moment I found a Legends of NASCAR authentic copy. I'm going to be honest, I don't know a thing about NASCAR. I'm totally kidding right now. I just thought it was really funny that they had it. I had to show it off. It's just funny. No hate if you're into NASCAR, I just don't know anything about it. Okay, so I am done in the comic store. Here's what I picked up. So I got 4 comics. I think it was $14 in total, which isn't bad at all. First off, I just thought this Scarlet Spider was so cool. The pink on there is just sick. I'm looking, I really want to get the Spider-Verse Scarlet Spider as well as the original. Honestly, they're both cool. So this will be a hard one to track down, but once I get that together, I think it'll look really good. So there's the first comic. I'll put this to the side. Second one is another Spider-Man comic. This one is the Black Suit Spider-Man. That'll be a hard one to get to just because those Black Suit Spider-Man pops are they're limited. They're not as easy to find. So we'll see what we can do on that. Now these last two are going to be double characters. I think I can put 2 characters together and kind of make a really cool display. So here's one with Spider-Man and Iron Man. I think this is the oldest of the bunch. I honestly have no idea what year it is though. I'm going to have to do some research. I couldn't really find it. So we'll see what we can do, but it'd be really cool if I found a Spider-Man and an Iron Man to kind of go in front of that. That would look sick. So that one was awesome. And then the last one is probably my favorite of the bunch, or honestly the best pickup of the bunch. It is Marvel Tales, the 200th edition, starring Spider-Man, and obviously it has Doctor Strange as well. So this one would be great. Obviously they've made a ton of Spider-Man pops, and with the new movies that Doctor Strange has been a part of, they've made a lot of those. It'll be hard to track down like the comic book accurate Doctor Strange, the pop that's modeled after this, but I could possibly find one from the movie and make a really cool display. So we'll see what we can do. Here are the 4 comics I got. Like I said, I think it was $14 in total. So let's go on a hunt for some pops and see if we can make a cool display out of these. All right, headed into the mall. There's a store in here I think will have what I'm looking for. I think they'll have some pops that we can put with those comics. So I don't know, let's go in and see. Okay, heading into the nerd store where I had a feeling they would have some pops that I could use for my little project I'm doing here. Now here's the Marvel wall. They had some other stuff on the table as well, but I thought there's some cool stuff here, so I wanted to start at this point. You can see down here, I was literally just saying a second ago, it'd be hard to track down this Doctor Strange. And what do you know? They have 2 of them. So, I don't know. I might come back and get this in the future, but I didn't pick it up today. I still thought it was a cool pop, though. Also, I was looking for Spider-Mans. They had this one. This was one of like 3 Spider-Mans they had. None of them were exactly what I was looking for, but still pretty cool Spider-Man. And here you go, massive table. I always love that Carnage. I've seen it here a few times. Not what I'm looking for today, though. Here's the other Spider-Man they had. I don't know what this is from. If you know, please leave a comment down below because I would love to find out. It's just something I've never seen before. Here's a GRAIL case they have, and you can see Scarlet Spider. I've seen this here before. I didn't know if it was still here, but I am very delighted to see that it is. And down here, they had Colossus as well as the Red Guardian, which is funny because I found comics for both of those characters. So, didn't get them, but it was cool. Okay, pick something up. Something I did not anticipate I would pick up today, but I did. Let's get back home and I'll show you. Alright, so I only ended up going to one store to actually look for Funko Pops. And the reason being is I purchased a GRAIL there that I didn't think I was going to purchase. But before I get into the GRAIL, let me show the comics that I got. You've already seen them for a second, but I'll explain why I picked up each one that I did. So first off, we have the Web of Spider-Man number 22. And I picked this up because I really love the black suit Spider-Man. And this comic cover just has him front and center. It's really just him, there's nobody else there. And it's just a really cool aesthetic. I don't have the black suit Spider-Man. I think it's a Walgreens exclusive. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But I don't have that in my collection. I'm hoping to eventually get it. It is on my GRAIL list, so I'd love to make a cool display out of this. So second comic I picked up is actually Marvel Team Up featuring Spider-Man and Iron Man number 49. This is a cool one for obvious reasons. It has Iron Man and Spider-Man. They're fighting. I don't know why. I guess you gotta read the comic to find out why. Now, I have no idea how old this one is, but I kind of suspect it's the oldest of the bunch. But I don't really have a Spider-Man that looks like this one in my collection. Obviously, I have the Blacklight one in the background, but I kind of want to keep that one in box. So there you have it. I will eventually make a display for this, but for now, it's just going to be a cool sort of piece that I have. Okay, third comic I picked up is similar to the last one. It is 2 characters in one, and that is Marvel Tales starring Spider-Man. This is number 200. So again, for obvious reasons, I thought this one was cool because it has Spider-Man and Doctor Strange. I mean, do I even have to explain how cool that display would look? But again, I do not have this Spider-Man, nor do I have Doctor Strange. So until I get those pops, this is just going to be a cool piece in my collection. And lastly, the fourth comic I picked up, like you saw earlier, is the Scarlet Spider. I believe this is number 1, actually. Really cool comic. I love the pink on here. Any sort of neon pink always gets me excited. I love that aesthetic. And I think Scarlet Spider is just a really underrated superhero. So I picked this one up knowing that there's the original Scarlet Spider, I believe from 2016, I want to say, plus the Scarlet Spider that just dropped for the new Spider-Verse movie. Now, I don't have the Scarlet Spider from Into the Spider-Verse. However, when I was on my hunt today, I'm sure you saw it, I ended up picking up the original Scarlet Spider. And here it is, a personal GRAIL of mine. It's definitely an older pop. Like I said, I think it is 2016. Yes, 2016. Super cool pop. I just love the classic molds from older pops. You can tell, it's just sort of the same thing over and over again. And it's kind of like, there's a lot more variation in how pops are made today. However, just that classic mold of like the bent knees, just really basic stance. It's just iconic and I love it. So I picked this one up so that I can make a really cool display with that Scarlet Spider comic book. And I'm sure you noticed in the background, I used my handyman skills today to install this beautiful shelf. And I am very proud of myself because this is probably the handiest thing I've ever done in my life. So there you have it. There's sort of a sample of how it could look. I don't know, like I said, it is a work in progress. And I'm still undecided as to whether I'm going to take my Scarlet Spider out of the box. Again, it is a personal GRAIL, so I'm thinking I might leave it in. And if I do, I might come up with a different way to actually display these. But for now, something like this is kind of what I'm thinking. I can also use this shelf to just house some of my sodas that I've opened up in the past, as well as some of the mystery minis that I've opened up if you've seen my shorts. So there you have it. That's sort of my own makeshift way of making Funko Marvel comic covers. I'm super excited to have the Scarlet Spider added to my collection, and I'm also really excited to add the other characters to my collection as well. I'll be on the hunt for them. Once I add them, I think this display shelf is going to look really great, and I'm really stoked about it. So thank you so much for watching today. Again, my name is Benjamin, and this is Retro Marmot Collectibles. Comment down below and let me know what characters you think would be really cool to make a comic cover of. And if you haven't already, like and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. Again, my name is Benjamin, and this is Retro Marmot Collectibles.